Hi guys, I'm glad you're here. Thank you for joining me. Well, my pressure canner arrived. I can hardly wait to use it. It's a 23 quart pressure cooker. Get a close-up. It wasn't too bad. It was under $160. And I'm going to do hamburger today. Let's see, what does it say here? It'll hold 26 half pints, 20 pints, and 7 quarts. What else does it say? Designed for easy, confident home pressure canning. The only method recommended for safe canning meats, vegetables, poultry, and seafood. Doubles as a boiling water canner for fruits, jams, jellies, pickles, and salsa. 12-year limited warranty. And let's open her up. Alright, here it is out of the box. And it came with a tray to put in there. The pressure gauge and the weight. Yeah, excuse the nails. I haven't done my nails. Alright, and the lid with the rubber seal. I gotta read the manual and put it together. So we got the manual, important safety messages, and more safety. Alright, I'm browning my hamburger. I got my pressure cooker water up to the first line. I have water heating. Then I'm going to put in the jars once I put the hamburger in. There's my jars. 6 jars, wide mouth jars, will fit into this canner. And there's a colander with a bowl underneath to drain the grease from the hamburger. Alright, draining the hamburger. Figured it was easier to bring the bowl and the colander over to the pan and then spoon it into the colander. Alright, first one. I may have to make more hamburger. Alright, now the water. Supposed to leave 1 inch of head space. Alright, get rid of the bubbles. I don't know why. I do not have soap in my water. I don't know why. Seems like every time I cook something, I end up with these little bubbles. Do you have that problem with your water? You can see the oil in there. Alright, I think I got all the... Might have to add a little bit more water. Alright. And it's only supposed to be finger tight. Alright, and then we'll put it in our pot. Here we go, the first one. So you know, this is 10 pounds of ground beef that I'm doing, and I'm frying up some more real quick because what I had in the pan was only 3 jars worth. I might have some left over, I don't know. This is my first time ever canning hamburger, so I wasn't sure how much hamburger I was going to have to fry up. So I'm finishing up the rest of the 10 pounds and we'll see if it will fill the rest of the jars. I still have 3 jars to fill. But in the meantime, I got the 3 jars that I got filled sitting in the warm water. I have never pressure canned before. I have done hot water baths for jams and jellies and pickles. I have used a pressure cooker for things like artichokes. So I'm a little bit nervous about doing this on a larger scale. I probably shouldn't be. I'm all for trying things that are new. This will save room in my freezer. It's not going to be frozen. They're going to be put on a shelf and kept there to save on storage space. And with the prices of food going up, I heard they're in Ireland, they're paying the ranchers 5,000 lire, I believe that is, to cull their cattle. I'm sorry, but I like my meat and potatoes. I am a meat eater. I like vegetables, but I could never go vegan. So, yeah, I'm going to do this, and I'm probably going to do some more. And then I'll try some other things down the road, which I'll share with you guys. But this is all new for me, pressure canning. There's the 3 jars I got done already. And this won't take that long to brown up. Yeah, I gotta make sure all the pink is gone. Brown it up. Like I said, it'll save me room in my freezer. Alright. Next. Alright, it's all brown. Thinking about what they're doing there in Ireland. Getting rid of the cows for the green agenda. You know darn well the rich are still going to be eating beef and lamb and whatever else. They don't care what they pay, as long as they get what they want to eat. But it's the average person, the poor people, who are not going to be able to afford it. I think about Noah's Ark. Okay, Noah and his family warned the people about the coming flood. They were probably ridiculed working on the ark and built it. And then when the flood came, after they loaded up all the animals and their family members, they closed the door. And I was thinking about that, how they closed the door. They didn't let anybody in. They were on their own. They were warned about what was coming. Kind of like what's happening now. And you think about those that do not prepare, who think we got our tinfoil fat hats on, who are not preparing, people with children who are not preparing. Are you willing to take your supplies that you prepared with and share it with those who did not prepare? I mean, it's really tough to think that children are going to be starving and dying. People are going to be dying that didn't prepare for what's coming. Yeah, I firmly believe that we got war coming. like I said in one of my other videos, there is 50% less food that was produced this year because of the drought, because of the heat, and other reasons. The transportation cost. 50% food. What we're eating now was produced last year. So if you think about that, 50% less food, less being shipped to these other countries. Yeah, that's a scary thought. So, is it heartless? Was it heartless for Noah to close the door when all the people were pounding on the side of the ark, yelling and screaming and begging to be let in, and to ignore the cries for help? You know, and knowing that if he opened the door for one, who knows how many people would have followed. They would have been overwhelmed, and then none of them would have survived. All their food would have been gone. Yeah, so what do you do? Alright, so we're going to let it drain now. Alright, you can see I got 6 quart jars and a little bit extra out of that 10 pounds of hamburger. And I just put the extra in a jar. I'll have that for dinner tonight. Alright, we'll put on the lid. Alright, got the lid on. There is a little V here to match it up to the arrow on the handle. And we'll turn it and lock it in place. I'm going to have to use 2 hands. Alright, that was not an easy task. I had to take the O-ring out and wash it because everything was lubricated. And now I'm going to move it so I can see the pressure gauge. You can't get the pressure gauge wet. And now we'll turn it on. And once it starts steaming, I have to let it steam for about 10 minutes. Put the rocker on it, the weight, and then adjust the pounds per pressure for, I believe, 90 minutes. I'm going to have to read the book again. Alright, it's just starting to make some noises of boiling. Got my little book out. It says here for 11 pounds, but it's 10 pounds. And then for quart jars, let's see, quart jars with bone, well, there's no bone, without bone, 90 minutes. So we gotta let it vent for 10 minutes, and then we'll cook it for 90 minutes. Sorry, the book's kind of shaking. Oh, and it says for 11 pounds of pressure. So we're gonna wait till it starts venting and then adjust. This is electric stove. It's not gas. It's not a glass top. It's electric. So, alright, we'll come back here in a minute. Still waiting for the 10 minutes to come up. Like I said, this is the first time for me to do this. Made me a little nervous. The back valve there rattled a little tiny bit. Steam was coming out until it built up enough pressure where it's sealed. And there's my Alexa timer telling me that 10 minutes is up. Alexa, turn off. And so we'll put the little weight on here now and wait for it to start rocking. And then adjust our temperature. Okay, now we're going to wait for it to start rocking. Build up pressure. And when it gets to 11 pounds, I'll know I'm right. And then after it reaches 11 pounds, I will start the 90-minute timer. Alright, we'll be back in a minute. Alright, you guys are probably laughing at me for how nervous I am. Waiting for the bomb to blow up. But I think I got it adjusted. First time for this stove to figure out, you put it on high back there. And then I got to adjust the temperature to hold at about 11. It looks like a little bit over 11, but 11 pounds, but that ain't bad. So I'll keep an eye on the pressure gauge and come back when it's done. 90 minutes. Alright, 90 minutes is up. Turned off the burner, moved it off the burner, and it's still steaming. And Shadow is watching and listening to it steam. Yeah, that burner's still hot. Maybe I'll put a lid on it just to make sure you don't get on there. How's that? So I took the jars out and they're still bubbling. And baby kitty is sitting right there absorbing the warmth. I guess she thinks they feel good. Let me zoom in so you can still see that they're still bubbling. Yeah, you know what's good, huh? Yeah, look at you all stretched out. Oh, yeah. So I hope you enjoyed my video. My first time at pressure canning. Like I said, I've done hot water bath canning for different things. And I was very nervous. Yeah, I didn't know what to expect. So thank you again. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Please stay safe. And I'll talk to you later. God bless you.